We can blame all the past for why we aren't successful in this business, why we're staying down, why we won't get up, why every day's a struggle for us. It's because we've decided, until we decide to put this behind us. Now, you don't ever get over it. You just learn to deal with it differently. You become mature at dealing with it. You know, there's days, every Father's Day, I deal with my dad not being in my life. He's still alive. He's 83 years old now. I haven't seen him in years. I don't even know what he's doing. And I try to wonder, well, how can you not want to see your son or your grandkids? And I don't get it. But every Father's Day, I deal with it. But I deal with it differently. So we all have issues that are keeping us back. They're keeping us from believing in ourselves. And I'm just going to tell you today, to build this business, to have success in this business, be able to look other people in the eye and say, I want to help you change your life, you got to change your own first. That's got to be the place you start. And when you come to that spot and you start on that journey, because it doesn't happen overnight, and you are blessed with an accountability of somebody in your life that will speak truth into your life, not somebody who always wants to make you feel good, not somebody who's always just, being the nicest person to you and telling you what you want to hear. That's not friendship. I want somebody in my life, a man especially in my life, to say, Craig, think about this. You're screwing up. You've made a mistake. Change your life. When you have somebody like that in your life, whether you're a man or woman, it's a blessing. If you allow yourself to listen and to be able to do that. Believe in yourself. Believe in your leader, your mentor. Do you all have a mentor in this business? If you don't, find one. Okay, you need someone who's willing to tell you what you need to hear. Right? Not what you want to hear, but what you need to hear. Also, someone who's here where you want to be, who's reaching back and saying, hey, Derek, let me help you get where I am, or what I've accomplished. I want to help you get there. Without that in our lives, we're just trying to figure it out all the time. And there are people upline from you that want to do that. Or some of you are teaming up with some of the corporate national people, Jeremy and Alethea. And that's great. But find somebody who can tell you and teach you to get where it is that you want to go. And then to be successful in business, turn around and give that to somebody else. As you're being mentored, find those whose lives you can touch and make a difference in. So you've got to have that belief. If you don't believe in your leadership, if you don't believe in the people upline from you in this business, it's going to be a lonely place. The greatest words you could ever say to your sponsor in this business, you tell me what to do, I'll do it. I won't question it. I won't argue with you. You tell me what to do, and I'll do it. If you have a relationship like that with someone, and you're willing to be that vulnerable, I guarantee you'll build a huge business. Because first of all, I promise you, your sponsor wants you to become successful. Probably more than you do even right now. Because see, here's the key, secret. Relational marketing, the more successful you become, the more successful they become. So what do you think he's going to do? Say, I'm going to give him a bunch of crap to do this month. None of it will work. I'll watch him wander for 40 years like Moses. And just try to, it's going to be fun to watch him. I'm going to mess his life up. Is anybody going to do that? Crap, no. They're going to say, don't do this. I made that mistake. There's a scripture in Proverbs that says there's wisdom in the counsel of many. If you take counsel and you listen to it and you do what someone has either done well or made a mistake at, because you can learn from both of them. See, I had a messed up dad. I learned from my dad. Even though he was a jerk and he's an idiot and he's done a lot of weird things to me, okay, I still learn from him of what not to do and what not to be. So I gained from that. So, and so you can learn from people's failures as well as their successes. And the people upline from you, when you believe in them and trust them, and for some of us that's hard. What do they want from me? Oh, I get it. You're going to get me in and use me to become successful. Well, you all know that's a joke. Use you to become successful. Most of the time you end up spending so much time sowing seed, and the seed harvest, but sometimes you think, using you. Don't you feel kind of used sometimes by people? A little bit? I was talking to Derek the other day, and Chris, and we were having just sitting together talking. I said, this business sometimes is like you're a wall receptacle, and everybody in your downline has plugs, and they come up to you, and all of a sudden they go, Craig, good to see you, boom, and they just plug into you, and then they're just sucking life out of you like an alien, right? And all of a sudden they leave, go, I'm so fired up, and you're going, oh my God, right? I mean, they're just like, you just suck, it's like an alien sucking something out of you, all life out of you, and you're like going, oh, I don't know if I can take many more of these. And they go, I'm so excited now, and they leave, right? Let me tell you something. Nobody should need to motivate you. Don't ever give responsibility for someone else to motivate you. That's not their job. If your dream and your why and your purpose in life doesn't drive you forward, There isn't a human being on earth that will ever do it. Nobody. It's got to come from within. You know, I knew the day I saw the business, I said, I got to get financially free. I got to, you know, a guy said to me once, it's not better for your kids than it was for you. You failed. And I thought, boy, that's true. And I went after the business, and I went after it because I realized it was a calling for me. And I realized the number of lives I could touch, but I also realized I had to get my life squared away. And along with making money, my life changed, and I changed, and who I was changed. Most of the people in 1979 when I got in the Amway business, you wouldn't have liked me. I had two professions. I owned a construction company, and I was a cop. You know, when you work construction, it's an interesting group of people. In fact, I used to say during the day I worked with weirdos and perverts, at night I arrested them. That was kind of my experience as a cop and working in construction. Okay? Those of you women who walk by a construction site know what I'm talking about. Okay? So, you know, that was my background. That's who I was. You know, my sponsor used to say, hey, you know, you might want to drop those four-letter words when you're showing the business to people. I thought, what's that about? You know what I'm saying? I mean, it was just, that's kind of the mentality I had. So I had to do a lot of changing. But yet, thank God I had someone in my life who said, shut up and listen. You need to change. You need to be different. You need to be able to relate to people. And nobody's relating to you by being arrogant or whatever it is. And see, that's the mentorship and that's the blessing that you have when you have someone in your life who will speak that truth to you. So many of you are so afraid. You know, I meet coaches all over the country. They're going, well, I don't want to be too strong because I don't want to blow them out of the business. Oh, okay, so let's create a bunch of wimps in our group. And let's not be strong with any of them. And they'll all be wimpy walking around never doing anything. You know, it drives me crazy sometimes. I don't really want to be strong. Don't be strong. Just when you do the GSR, here's what I expect from you. Here's what you can expect from me. You're going to get truth from me. I expect you to be honest with me. That's our starting point. Let's roll forward. I want what you want. Your dream's my dream. I'm buying into it. I'm ready to go. And if they don't live up to that, I'm going to make sure they realize it. Because you know what? We don't have, this business, we don't have contracts. Nobody in the world is signed on that you can fire. Although, how many of you like to fire some people in your group right now? Fire, just pig slips tomorrow. What's this? You're out. Okay. We can't do that. But you know what's awesome about it? It forces us. You know how you lead in this business? You lead through influence, not authority. You lead through influence, not authority. There's no authoritative leadership in our business. What we're teaching and what we're learning in the business is we have to influence people's lives. I remember I read a book by Chuck Colson, and he talked about the most powerful person in the world to him was Mother Teresa. And he said because she was powerful because of a life lived, not by a position given, not by election, somebody who'd been elected to an office. None of that, no position given, no title, just a woman who lived out her life with a dream of saving starving children and one of the most powerful figures in the world from a life lived in a life of influence. And I thought about that. In our business, that's all we have. We either influence people to success or they don't get there. That's because you have to be the leader. You have to take charge of your business, you guys. You have to own it. Let's look at the next point. Organized. Managing your time. Most of you are terrible at this. Just being honest with you. You are so bad at this. You go, organize my time. Oh my gosh, Greg. If I could organize my time, I could really build a big business. Okay. What does that mean? Most of us are spinning plates. Most of us, our lives are out of control. The way you live your days is the way you live your lives. What your days represent is what your life represents. You say, well, yeah, you know, I got in this business and I was already busy doing this and busy doing that and busy doing this and busy doing that. I know. Only busy people get in this business. When I saw my business, I went and showed all the busy people I knew. They all got in. All the people who did nothing, they didn't get in. Because they're lazy. They don't want to do anything else. Busy people are the ones volunteering for this and volunteering for that. The leaders of Booster Club, the ones coaching the baseball team, the booster mom or the baseball team moms. You guys are all those kind of people. But until you take the time in your life to write the priorities of your life down, if you take a blank piece of paper, and those of you who ever heard my CD, I talk about this, but if you take a blank piece of paper and you write your priorities on the left-hand side of that page, and whatever those represent to you, you know, if it's, for me, if it was God, family, you know, my business, whatever, you know, your job, whatever it is, that's your priorities. There's probably only 3 or 4 of them. And then on the other side, you write down everything you do every day. And I promise you, what you do every day don't match your priorities. Your life's out of control on the right-hand side. I met a gal the other day. She teaches 15 classes a week on fitness at a gym. She goes, I don't have time to build Beachbody. I said, how much do they pay you in those classes? $10 a class. She makes $150. Okay? Teaching 15 classes a week for an hour a class. That's 15 hours a week. And yet she says to me, I don't have time to build the business. I says, oh no, your priorities are messed up. Because I said, are you broke? She said, yes. I said, are you in debt? Yes. Then how do you think that you can afford to teach 15 classes a week when your family, you could lose your house in 90 days? And so if we look at what we spend time doing every day in our life and compared to our priorities, we need to start to move some things off the plate on the right-hand side. Because all of you in this room, if you'll spend 15 hours a week, 10 to 15 hours a week in this business, and you do it for the next 24 months, and you do all the things that you're supposed to be doing, like the Beachbody Challenge, like all the stuff I talk about on the Performance for 90 Days of Excellence, build the business correctly and build into lives and build teams, 24 months from today, you'll have a six-figure income at 15 hours a week if you do the right things. So if you're looking on your right-hand side, all these things that you're doing now, because maybe some of you even like doing, they're so much fun. You know, I love being team mom. Okay, your kid's 5 years old. You're a team mom. Next year he's going to be 5 years old, or 6 years old. You're going to be team mom. You're still going to be broke, right? And the year after, you can still be team mom, and you'll be 7 years old, and you'll still be broke. So why not get the financial part of your life squared away and coach any team, play on any team, do whatever you want to do, but get that part of your life squared away. Because if you're sitting here today and you are broke and you're financially in debt, okay, then my question is, what are you doing on the right-hand side of your page? What things need to be crossed off so you can begin to do what you need to do to accomplish what it is you say you want? Because our actions prove our priorities. Our actions prove our priorities. It's like in church a lot of times pastors will say, look at your checkbook and that's where your heart is. You should say that all the time. Look at your checkbook and that's where your heart is. Look at that. Sometimes it's not, there's a real good feeling. Okay? But it's true. So you look in your business, and you realize that your priorities, what you really want, and what you're doing don't match up most of the time. So you got to organize your time. You got to manage your calendar. You know, I'm huge on having a hard copy calendar. I got a big one in my bag right there. I got a hard copy calendar. I open it up. I can see my week every week laid out. And what you do at the beginning of the week is you put all your times in. You put your Beachbody time in. You put your kid time in. You put your spouse time in. You put your job time in. Whatever it is you do Sunday night, you put all those squares in your calendar. And now when it starts Monday, you know that from 2 to 4 is your Beachbody time. You don't have any other time, because if you try to work the business any other time, you're robbing from your husband time or kid time or work time, and you can't do that. And so you have it written down, and you know that if I'm going to do a 3-way call, I have 2 to 4 Monday, I don't have any other time. If I'm going to be on Facebook, I got 2 to 4 Monday, I don't have any other time. Instead of trying to make time, because when you make time, you're stealing time. When you steal time, you feel guilty. Women are great at this. Women feel guilty all the time. When they're at work, oh, I should be with the kids. Or with the kids, oh, I should be working my Beachbody business. Working in the Beachbody business, oh man, I need to spend time with my spouse. Right? So they live this life out of control and guilty all the time. I have a term, write this down. Be where you are. That means if you're at your kid's baseball game, shut your flipping phone off, put it in your purse, and watch the game. Nothing worse than a little kid that gets a base hit, looks up in the stands, and his mom's like, oh. I mean, what is that saying to the kid? Yeah, you're really important to me, son. I'm sorry, but it's true. You got to be where you are. And the only way you can be where you are is be in charge of your life. And when you're in charge of your life, you can be where you are. When you're with your husband having dinner and it's your date night, forget everything else. You've already had your kid time. You've had your Beachbody time. It's all written in your calendar. So that's your kid. That's your family time, your husband time. Go spend the time with them. Be where you are. And if we don't do that, we spend our life out of control. How many of you go to bed at night and go, oh my God, I forgot I have to take Johnny to the dentist tomorrow. Oh, I forgot I told Mary I'd pick up her son from school. Oh, jeez. None of it's written down. None of it's written down. So you can't even sleep at night because you got to remember everything you got to do the next day because none of it's written down. Use your calendar and live by it. I know it doesn't make for spontaneity. I know it's not really fun to have it all written down because I'm kind of sanguine. I'm kind of spontaneous. Okay, you're broke. All right. Okay. You see what I'm saying? So we have to discipline our lives to have the things we want. Imagine right now disciplining your life for 2 years. Having a 6-figure income. Let's say you're making $200,000, $300,000 a year and just doing Beachbody. Your husband doesn't have to work anymore. You're both home 24/7. You live your life the way you want. You spend time with your kids. You travel. You do the things you want to do. Is that worth it to get organized for 2 years to live that life? Of course it is. But we're not good at delayed gratification. You take a little kid and say, I'll give you a jelly bean today or 5 tomorrow. They're taking 1 today. As adults, we're just the same way. I want it now. I want it now. I want to coach my kid now. He's 5 years old. It's his first year at T-ball. You know, U-ball coach. Your kids play T-ball? In those games, kids play T-ball. Yeah, it scores 50-60. And at the end, they always go, it's a tie. It was a tie. It's always a tie. But anyway. Your kid's 5. I want to coach him. He's a 5 years, his first year of baseball. Next year, he's going to be 6. You're broke, and you can coach next. You see what I'm saying?